I can't wait to get back on the road again. Back again. Dude, like for the baggers.
Back home again.
Back home again.
In
Indiana land.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 6 of Dirtyard Dish. We are going to be recapping the third week of the CCW Hot Stove. I'm your host tonight, Smithey. Alongside me, I have good buddy Reid Werner.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we got a couple of old-time hounds coming back together to a podcast since we are no longer able to play with each other anymore. How do you feel about that, Reid?
Cap space is a big thing this year. Obviously, we got split up because of it. But you know what? It's good for the league. You being number one by a good gap. Might I mention MVP favorite, but no, I'm excited. It'll be fun. I'm a pork pistol, and I'm excited to be with the guys. They're a fun group, and I'm excited to compete against you other than in all-star games and just facing each other, one-on-one when we're out there just messing around.
Yeah, definitely going to be fun to face each other a little bit. Pork Pistols, you got a good team to join with, like Thomas and those guys. A lot of fun. So, yeah, to, I guess, get this started for the kind of recap the signings that did happen this week. The Moonshot, my team added Michael Whitty. He was a veteran minimum of 10, and we are now at $11.3 left. Reid's team, Thomas's team, the Pork Pistols, they added Kenny Boger, 10 salary cap, so they have 11.6 left. The Hounds added Quinn, another vet minimum guy at 10, so they now have 30.1 salary cap left. The Shorts added Keegan. As we know, due to them, we're talking about that last week, his cap hit was 28.5. They have 30.9 cap left. The Yackers added James. His cap was 20.5. So that Yackers now have 22.7 left. And lastly, the 8 Balls added Landon Ball. His cap was 14.7, and they still have 52.7 cap left. So, Reid, first thing I'm going to ask you is that all these 6 signings this week, which kind of guys you think helped their teams the most going into the next week?
I think as far as helping the most, I'd go with the Yackers. Me and you both played with James Hayworth on the Hounds his first year. The guy can compete. He's a good dude. Lefty with contact, a little bit of power at times, and he's got some speed. A little injury ridden, and whenever we're out there, if we're under the lights, he always complains that he can't see, but it is what it is. He's a gamer. I like the guy a lot. Yackers, great pick by Rudy right there.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. They're gonna add a great guy into the field behind them, and so much speed on the base pass, slap hitting ability, and as you mentioned, I forgot about how we would always talk about can't see under the lights. Good thing is with a lot of Sunday games this year, hopefully he's not having to worry about that too much.
Yeah, I thought about that.
One of the ads I thought was great was the Shorts ad and Keegan. They definitely needed another guy to hit alongside Dudas. We know Aiden, some of the guys they had can hit. I think Keegan's just going to be a more consistent bat for them to get Dudas some sort of protection through the season.
Yeah, definitely. Keegan Dudas obviously go way back. That we saw it coming. Thomas and Brendan mentioned it on the last pod, so we all saw it coming. But great sign.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about your guys' team signing Kenny here?
Kenny, I don't know a ton about him. He's a slow pitch softball guy. Got into CCW a little bit, so he's still got a bit to learn, with the fast pitch and the way it works. But I was also told by Thomas he likes to make TikToks. So Brendan, there's your guy. Go make some TikToks with him.
Perfect. We need some social media guys in the league. We got dudes making them. Got Gerchef that can really control them. Maybe we get Kenny in there making some too now.
Absolutely. I also want to mention your pick, Michael Whitty. Obviously great guy. I want you to go into a little bit about that.
Yeah, Mike Whitty played in the league a few years ago, back when it was medium pitch. Went to University of Annapolis, Reid and I played some baseball there as a pitcher. So really excited to add him for the vet minimum. Definitely going to be a guy that competes with Blake Boris as our number 2 pitcher, and going to get a lot of at bats. Very athletic, fast kid. So we'll see if he has much power, but he does add a lefty stroke back into the lineup that we lose from the Moonshots losing you. So very happy with the pick and the signing. I think it's going to be huge in getting us that second, third pitcher for the team.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know Mike, he's small lefty, but he throws just as hard, if not harder than me. So the lead, if he's on the board, it's going to be a long day with both you and Whitty just pounding the board. If Whitty's on, good luck beating the shots.
Yeah, I like it. It's definitely got a high ceiling. But no offense to him, he's got a pretty low floor too, because I don't know if he's ever thrown the wiffle balls fast and knows where they're going. So we'll see if he can hit the board. So speaking of kind of adding these teams and stuff, now that each team has 5 guys, what would you say your rankings are of the 6 squads?
Power rankings. Yeah. So I'll go 6 to 1. So number 6, I got the shorts. That seems to be the theme right now. Dudas can hit, and the big thing is Aiden. Whether if he's going to hit the board, they'll be a good squad. And if Brendan, we've seen Brendan pitch, and I think if he dedicates himself to pitching and works on it and can hit the board pretty consistently, then they could be a number 1 team. But I think there's too much uncertainty there to put them any higher. Number 5, I got the Hounds. And again, any of these, it's a toss up right now. It's all these teams are pretty well rounded, but between Sprinkle pitching, Jones hitting, that's a solid duo. They just need protection. Those 2 are solid guys. One of the Dowdens will need to step up with the pitching role. And that's all I got to say about them. Number 4, I got the 8 balls. I considered flipping Hounds and 8 balls, back and forth. But just the way the energy and that swagger that Mike Speak brings to the Dirtyard every time, Brendan mentioned it last. Every time he comes to the field, the 8 balls have a chance to win. So that's I couldn't put them any lower than that. Number 3, I have us. I'll be handling majority of the pitching, and TP will be behind me. We got some solid hitting. It's just, I'm inconsistent and hitting the board. We all know that. TP, I think, has gotten a lot better, but I think we got the hitting there. But if we can get some consistently with throwing on the board, we'll be there. Number 2, I got the Yackers, especially with the most recent signing of James. Yeah, that's a good squad right there. He can be a little bit off with pitching, but it always seems like when he's pitching, if he's not hurt, then he's just either right on the board or just missing the board. Like his misses are small misses, it seems like. So big pick by Rudy there. I really like that pick. And the rest of their squad, Gerchef and Cade. I'm anxious to see if Cade can pitch as well. He's an athlete. I think he can chuck it. And then number 1, I got you guys. you reigning MVP. You're going to go out there. You're going to do your thing. There's no question about that. I think Blake Voris undermines his pitching ability. I think he hit the board consistently. He doesn't have the velocity like some of the other guys, but I think he's a solid pitcher, and he can be a solid pitcher if Uindy is off of the board on a certain day. So there you go. There's my rankings.
Yeah, I like it. Definitely. Definitely have some same, definitely have some differences. I'll also start at 6. Similar, I have the shorts. I definitely think the shorts have a great lineup. Adding Keegan. Keegan, House, Plord, Dudas, Aiden, like those are some really solid hitters, but like we said, we just have no idea if they're going to be able to get anybody out. So you can't win every slugfest. That's why I got them 6. At 5, I have the 8 balls. And really from here on out, it's you said, we felt like shorts maybe just a touch below everybody. And then 5 through 1, it can be anybody's game. So, but I got the 8 balls at 5. I like what they're doing. I like kind of bring guys in that know each other, Taylor and their new guy, Landon, good friends back from Southport, I believe. Connor and Senior joining back up as the 8 balls, and Duran, who throws velocity. So I like what they're doing. Just it's going to be tough to see it all come together. So it's hard for me to kind of see what that's like. So that's why I have them at 5 right now. And then 4, I have the Hounds. Like you said, Jones and Sprinkle, great duo. We're going to see how much of a leap the twins, the Dowdens, bring in this year. And then we're going to see if Quinn can stay hot as another hitter. I definitely like that ad. I felt like they needed another bat. I know Jones was looking for one. I think Quinn, while he only has a few games under his belt, could provide that spark. And then for my 3rd, I have the Yackers, and 3 through 1 was really hard. I like what the Yackers did with James a lot. I really like their team. Just for me, it's just like we know that Cade and Gerchef, as far as league-wise, are still pretty young since their 2nd year. And I believe this will be Mitch's 3rd year. So while all of them are really good players, just to be a big consistent jump for them, that's why I have them at 3 and not 2 or 1. I do like their squad a lot though. 2, I have my team, the Moonshots. Like you said, with Uindy and the board and stuff, I like what we're doing. We just gonna have to see who can step up and be that number 2 pitcher and kind of fill that role that you've left. Our bats are going to be very similar, very solid. So like with the shorts early, you can't win every game by slugfest. And then 1, I have you guys as the Pistols. I think you're undermining Punt's pitching ability a little bit. And honestly, I think Thomas can hit the board out of the pen pretty much anytime you need him to. So I think with those 3 and the kind of the consistency and like teamwork, I guess, of the Pistols being together, knowing them all each other. So I think adding you into that mix isn't really going to hurt that at all. So that's why I think you guys got a little bit of a good claim to the 1 spot in the power rankings through 5 weeks, or 5 guys on the team. So now we're obviously heading into the last free agent week. Each team there are definitely different amounts of cap available for guys and teams. So just going to ask you, Reid, who's a guy that you feel like a team should go after to kind of start this off?
So I'm going to start with our squad. A lot of solid people on our squad already, but for our pick, I went with more of, kind of the vibe. We want people that, fit in our culture as the Pork Pistols, and I'm excited to be a part of that. It's going to be different, but I'm excited. So with that, I'm going to go with D. Louie, Dalton Lewis. He's a fun guy. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anxious to see if he's going to be better as a player this year, but he's a fun guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like that. I like D. Louie. I know he loves playing wiffle ball and being out there, and he's working on his pitching stuff. Definitely an underrated add to him, both for a vibe aspect and a player aspect. So I guess for my squad, I'm looking at I think it'd be great to add Jeremy McIntyre, another guy like Uindy, who's coming out of, I guess, quote unquote retirement, hasn't played since medium pitch, but knowing Austin Church and Blake Forrest and growing up with them, I think it'd be a great add to the team. Being able to add a guy like that fits right in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know a ton about McIntyre, but basically what you've talked about, that if they fit well with the chemistry, that's going to be a good pickup for you guys. So, I'll go next. I'm going to cover the Hounds, and kind of a similar way with McIntyre. Their best pickup is going to be Bailey Busher, who we both know pretty well. Another Uindy ball guy, lefty pitcher, who when we played with him, he hit the board. He hit the board pretty well. He was a solid pitcher. And honestly, I think any squad would be lucky to get Busher. Yeah, he's a solid player. I just picked the Hounds because of his relationship with Jones and Sprinkle. He's going to fit right in with that squad. And if they pick him up, that the Hounds are going to be good. I'm going to give them respect. So,
yeah, I like that a lot too. Busher, I've known Busher since we were in middle school and stuff. He's one of the most athletic kids I've ever played with. So I think, like you said, any team could add him. Lefty that'll hit the board, put the bat on the ball at the plate. He'll field everything. Great fielder. Always able to hit the guy on the peg. When we played with him when we were the Hounds, it was unreal how many times he would just whip that ball around the diamond, hit the guy for the peg out.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you there. It was ridiculous, especially that semifinal game against the 8 Balls.
Oh yeah,
unreal. Peg out to home, save us. Crazy.
Only reason that series lasted so long, so we had those 2 free peg outs in the first game.
Unreal.
So next team I'm gonna choose the 8 Balls, and the 8 Balls have $2.7 left of the cap, by far the highest of anybody. And one guy that's still up there that hasn't been signed is Gagliardi from up north. And the metrics love Gags. He is extremely high capped, and I understand completely why. He comes out there and pounds the board. He hits the ball all over the diamond. He's always on base. So he's a great player. And for kind of what the 8 Balls are doing, I understand Gags isn't signed because he's coming from up north. You don't necessarily know how often he's going to be there. He's reached out and said he's not going to be able to make that double elimination postseason game already. But one of the things I always think about is you can't really think about playing in that postseason if you don't even qualify to make it there. If you're out in the first round, what's the point of knowing if he's not going to be there or not? So I think with them having so much cap space, I think he would be a great addition. He'd be a guy that when he does show up, he's going to pound the board for him, maybe take a few innings away from a senior and let him be kind of more healthy and durable throughout the season. Like Gags hit, I think he would fit right in with their team.
No, I agree with you. It definitely makes the most sense with the cap space, with their huge amount of cap that they have. Gags is definitely the best signing option for him, regardless of whether he's going to show up or not. It gives some relief to Mike. Let him get his drinks on the sides and get that arm a little, so he can go a little more the next one. So yeah, I think that's going to be their best option, but we'll see what happens. So next up for me, I'm going to go with the shorts. And this was a hard one for me to cover. I mentioned how Busher would be a good option for most teams, and I would say that he'd be a good fit for them since they need the pitching, that secure kind of pitching. But I also went with Holden. He's Aiden's brother. That he can be inconsistent, but I think he's got a little bit more consistency than Aiden. But we'll see. Another one I mentioned is Kevin. He played with the shorts last year. Why not run it with all those guys? So that's just kind of for the chemistry, for the vibes. I just think that'd be a fun pick especially for him. So, but we'll see. I don't know. I just thought that's kind of fun.
Yeah, and Kevin there to join the squad. Yeah, I definitely like for them adding Holden, having them all together. Their lineup already is pretty solid. I would find it hard for them to want to add a guy that would want to take at bats away. It's a six as the like fourth add, sixth player. So I think Holden being a PO, also being under that cap, would be a great add. And he's definitely more consistent on the board than Aiden and Dudas, I would say. And when he's throwing, he's got just as good as stuff. So I think I'm surprised that he's a player that is still on the board right now. I think people are just hesitant on how high his cap is. But the shorts have room for him. They got plenty of cap to sign him, and they can still be under the cap by a decent margin.
Yeah.
So
and if I'm not mistaken, I think he can hit the ball a little bit too. I think he can. I think he has the ability to anyway. I think he was a PO for I think he was on the Outlaws when he played last. But if he works on it, anyone can go up there. I mean, not anyone, but it takes work to be in a lineup. But I think he's got the potential to be in the lineup and put the bat on the ball.
Yeah, I can see it. They got an athletic family, so wouldn't surprise me at all. Last team we got here is the Yackers. It's tough to choose a free agent for them to go after. They are definitely a very solid squad. They already have Rudy and Mitch pitching with possible, honestly, any Gertch, Hayworth, or Cade could possibly come in and throw after. So the one thing I had for them to go after was Spencer Steiner purely is just try to get a big power bat. Like I know Rudy hits the ball really well. I know Gertch hits the ball really well. Luker. I just, for what their squad does, I just think there's not a whole lot they need to add, and just knowing that they have the cap to add a power bat like Spencer, who, if he wants to throw, can throw the ball hard. We'll see if he wants to pitch at all and see if he can hit the board. But while that may not be a necessity for them, maybe they add a little velo and a power bat.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with everything. It makes the most sense with the Yackers being that solid squad that they are. It's hard to improve on what they already got, but I think what you said is spot on. That's going to be their best option, I think. So, but again, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting here to see who gets signed on this last week, which guys are going to be eligible to add on to your inactive rosters for coaches, and kind of that whole aspect of things and how different teams are going to go.
Definitely. And one thing I want to do is give props to you. You had a very limited amount of cap space, and you put together a real good squad that was basically the last year's Moonshots minus myself. So I think you guys got every potential bit in the world to go out and win that thing again next year.
Moonshots are definitely going to try to run it back. Obviously, it was for the longest time, Dudas was working on the salary formula, kind of what the numbers were for people. And for the longest time, I kept checking the numbers every day if they were changing, who all had signed up to see if it was going to be possible to add the old Moonshots beside you and some veteran minimum guys to stay under. And then it was actually James was one of the last free agent additions who signed up, who he was like we said earlier, a 20.5 salary cap hit, which raised the cap up to allow for the Moonshots to come back together and run it back, obviously, beside you. So while you didn't really have a choice because of the duo draft and us not being together, the Moonshots are definitely taking it personally how you were the only one that did not want to run it back this year.
Yeah, I mean, how couldn't you? It's gonna be hot on the field. All I'm going to hear when I'm on the mound is, why didn't you want to run it back? You're an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to constantly just be out there and be like, wow, so you're the only guy that didn't like us from last year. You can really see who the bad egg was.
Exactly. You're going to try and get in my head.
So now we've kind of, finished up recapping the fifth week and stuff. I'm going to change the topic a little bit for us. You and me were two of the guys that traveled from CCW to you last year. First experience with cup ball for both of us. So I'm going to switch into this topic and see what you thought about it.
Yeah. First thing that was the biggest thing that we noticed as soon as we got there is it may be the same concept of the game, but cut ball, big barrel is a completely different game. The rules are so different. You know, no base running was a complete culture shock for us. The way the ball moves is not the way that we are used to with clean ball. It was nuts to see some of those guys even make contact, let alone put up a decent amount of runs in that tournament. It's crazy to see what those guys can do. You've probably seen the video of me throwing at 98 and they can still turn around like it's nothing. So, that culture shock was something that was definitely, it was something else, but it was a great experience.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. Just we thought several times we'd be practicing for it, thinking, okay, like in our little tiny yellow bat clean ball league, we hit pretty well. We should be able to hit with the big barrel and cut ball, and it was just not even close. Just the way the ball moves, just not anything that we could prepare for without seeing it firsthand and seeing what they can actually do. It was definitely an eye opener, and it definitely, I know for me, made me want to just keep getting into it more and more and go back there and just kind of redeem ourselves. We went 0-3, we're bounced, and it's like we know we're better than that, and we just want to try to get back out there again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, ever since we got back from, we've been talking back and forth, man. We're itching to get back on the field. We're ready to put some work in. Clean ball and cut ball. We want to show what we're worth over in York again this year. But yeah, it's got to take the work. But I know you're ready. I know I'm ready. Whoever else, I want to get some cut balls into some of the league's hands, see what they can do with it. I want to get some of those big barrels in the guys. Even if it's on a random Thursday night after a Wednesday night wiffle, it'll just get some reps in, see who can hit what, and it's a fun time. I really do like the concept of no base running. You gotta learn the rules a little bit, and it's a little bit of learning curve, but I love the concept of that East Coast style play. It's a good time.
Yeah, learning the rules definitely is something that we need to do a little bit better of. We messed up a few times, but the style with the no base running, the easy fielding and throwing, it's definitely a game that we could play a lot longer than our skinny bat clean ball. And then another thing is, like you said, just getting guys together, seeing who can hit and stuff. We weren't getting blown out last year in those games, but it was obvious that we were not hitting anything. So we definitely need to get somebody on the team who can, hit the ball. We've been working to try to hit a little bit better to go out there again. And, maybe we go out there, have a little bit of success, and we get even more itch and want to go to maybe some mall tournaments or stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be huge. I'd love to go do that. Something that maybe not a lot of people in the league knows. Yeah, we prepped ever since the week after NWLA, leading up to the middle of October when Uwiffs was. We were out there every week, once or twice a week, getting in work, and we still didn't stand a chance against those guys. It was crazy. Yeah, even after Uwiffs, we were back out there in early November, even late November, out there throwing cut balls. We just had the determination to go out there and get better at it. But I'm anxious. I'm ready to go back out there, get some cut ball work in. And for those of you who are baseball players, cut balls, they move the same way every time. It's easier to control, in my opinion. And for some of you flamethrowers out there, it's fun. I'd like to experiment it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Like the cut ball, it has more movement, it has different movement, but it's definitely more consistent movement. So from a pitcher's aspect, you can really dot up some corners, throw some pitches that look like one another and break the other way, and definitely a better feel to actually pitching. I feel like compared to the clean ball, where the clean ball, it's hard to make it do as different movements. So a lot of the times a clean ball velocity is king. Not saying it's not with cut ball, but with the velocity, you can do more with the cut ball.
Definitely agree with everything.
Yeah, that kind of gives you the people a quick little segment into what we felt like and what we thought about our Uwiffs experience. Kind of anything else you want to just kind of add to that, or maybe looking at in the future?
No, I got nothing. Let's get back to work, get out there, and let's make an improvement on last year. Yeah, I think we got the ability to do it.
Definitely. I do definitely think that too. I think we can definitely improve upon our performance this past year. It's going on 3 and show some people that the Circle City is not just a skinny yellow bat league, can play both styles. So,
hey,
all right, Reid.
Last year.
It definitely can't get any worse than last year. So, all right, this was your episode 6, recap number 3 of the Circle City Free Agency Hot Stove. This is your host, Smithey, co-host here with Reid, Werner, give you a little bit of details on the free agency and what we thought about going to Uwiffs this past year.
I can't wait to get back on the road again. Back again. Dude, like for the baggers.
Back home again.
Back home again.
In
In Indiana land.